Prior to the age of streaming, aspiring musicians had to put in a lot more legwork to reach an audience. As a rapper existing in the early to mid-2000s, your go-to method for promotion likely consisted of physically handing out mixtapes, wherein you'd rap over popular mainstream beats. This was like the IRL version of link spamming. If you think it's cringe when your friends are constantly spamming SoundCloud links to their poorly produced pop music that's bordering on the edge of parody, just imagine them having to stand outside for multiple hours on end, harassing passers-by with small plastic discs. That was the reality for countless artists just a couple of decades ago. Truly some dark and disturbing times for us all. If your music was exceptional in any way, people would take to sharing it on message boards, or through peer-to-peer file sharing applications like LimeWire, where the boldest among us would risk infecting their computers with God knows what just to experience those sweet novel grooves. This is how Lupe Fiasco began his ascent to prominence. In 2005, Lupe recorded a song entitled Conflict Diamonds. His thought-provoking and insightful lyrics detailing the ins and outs of the blood diamond trade, set to the instrumental of Kanye West's Diamonds from Sierra Leone, quickly caught people's attention and propagated rapidly online. The song spread so much that it eventually got back to Kanye himself. This led to a collaboration between the two, which led to a record deal, which led to Jay-Z co-producing his debut album entitled Food and Liquor. This album is where I was first introduced to Lupe. The most standout track on the project for me at the time was American Terrorist. This was during the Bush administration, at the height of the War on Terror, where patriotism and ultranationalism found a new foothold following the events that transpired in late 2001. The song issued a sharp and scathing critique of American interventionism. The track also highlights America's hypocrisy that stems from their human rights abuses, all while they publicly project an air of civility and exceptionalism. Outside of academic circles and maybe a few fringe political figures, this perspective was rare to come by at the time, and was essentially unheard of in mainstream hip-hop. Food and Liquor debuted at number 8 on the Billboard charts, and cemented Lupe as one of the most intelligent and thought-provoking rappers of all time. This allowed him to shine brightly in a landscape where most major label artists were opting to simplify their messaging in order to boost album sales by appealing to the lowest common denominator. The following year, Lupe would release his sophomore album entitled The Cool, a concept album that expanded upon the story introduced on a track from Food and Liquor with the same name. The album was a commercial success, debuting at number 15 on the Billboard charts, which once again signaled to the industry that you don't have to dumb down your messaging or fit into a pre-established mold in order to be commercially viable. Lupe's third album was teased at the end of The Cool. It was originally planned to be a triple album entitled LUP End, but his contract with Atlantic prevented him from moving forward with the project. Instead, he was forced to take a back seat to the whims and creative decisions of his label, which resulted in a nightmarish scenario that pushed him to the brink of suicide. The production and features on Lupe's third album felt completely forced. It was as if whoever was at the helm was either trying to sabotage Lupe's career by alienating his core fan base, or they were so frustrated with him not willingly conforming to their tried and true formula for success that they felt compelled to force him to adopt it. Although his countercultural messaging remained intact, his radical lyrics set to the backing track of conformism left the end product sounding confused. In most instances, it felt as if the instrumentation was actively fighting against his lyricism, which makes it all the more painful when you consider what might have been, had he been given the green light to move forward with the album he originally planned. 4 years later, thanks in part to internet hacktivist Collective Anonymous, Lupe released his fourth studio album, entitled Tetsuo in Youth, which was a return to form. I'm starting to feel like Justini Rentano here, but I'm not here to review all of his albums. I just wanted to go over some of his releases to help illustrate that Lupe is underrated not only as a lyricist, but he's underrated for his contributions to hip-hop as a whole. He emerged at a time when Chicago was widely underrepresented in mainstream hip-hop, with Kanye being the most notable figure in hip-hop from Chicago at the time. Not only did Lupe's success pave the way for fellow Chicago natives like Chance the Rapper, Saba, and Vic Mensa, but his ability to produce commercially viable records despite refusing to dumb down or simplify his messaging signaled to the next generation of rappers broadly that they could do the same. That they didn't have to compromise their message by emulating some standardized, focus-grouped, cookie-cutter-ass formula in order to achieve success within the music industry. While Lupe's tumultuous relationship with Atlantic may have hampered his career in the long run, the undeniable successes of his first two mainstream debuts set the stage for conscious hip-hop megastars like Kendrick Lamar to take over and thrive. And it's for this reason that I think Lupe Fiasco's impact on hip-hop is understated.
Woke up, hold up, wait a minute, let me roll up. Smoke up, we can split it in this cold blood. No love in the